the power of the Yahudims. Today, what we're going to do, we are going to present the information that the Most High have given us in a structured manner. The first section is historical, and we will follow the historical aspect of these lessons, of these information, these revelations, with more in-depth videos to bring forward the ancient wisdom, the ancient knowledge of the elders going back to the times of LUMERIA. So what we're going to do today, we are going to reclaim one piece of our lost history to us that has never been lost to anyone else, because it has never left that place where it is. As a matter of fact, it has been kept preserved for thousands of years. I can't even begin to tell you how many thousands of years have this knowledge been preserved. So because the knowledge has been preserved by the people who have it, we want to remain considerate and thoughtful of that and mindful of that, because the Most High put it on them to preserve the knowledge so that the teacher will come out when the student is ready. So we're going to conquer. We are going to conquer China. We are going to conquer East Asia. We are going to conquer the land of the East, because the patriarch Abraham gave gifts to his sons. He gave gifts to Ishmael and sent him away to the East. And he gave Jacob the higher gifts. You see? But this transcends Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It goes beyond to the very time, to the very beginning of time, where it was in LUMERIA, where our first ancestors, our first ZANSETS, lived and prospered with the information, the knowledge of the Most High that was given to them by revelation, by the ministration of the Spirit, by communing with angels, higher entities, higher beings that would give them the sacred knowledge. And in LUMERIA, it was not a strange thing to be well versed in this knowledge. Not everybody was like that. But among the Lumerians, there were a few people, even among the priests, as we're going to read right now. Not all the priests were privileged to have the esoteric, most revered knowledge. Not even among the priests. It was only a few of them who were given that privilege. So we're going to, in this journey that we're going to go on, you and I, it's going to be the most beautiful journey thus far. And I have not been so excited about anything since the Zohar, the revelations that we receive in those books in regards to our bodies, in regards to all the sacred knowledge that I've been bringing to you guys in these books. I haven't been so excited since then. This is going to reset a lot of things in your life. This journey to East Asia, reconquering the ancient knowledge of the elders and bringing it back to the people here in America, the people of the Most High. Bringing this knowledge back is going to mean everything. Let me tell you. We are going to do this, as I noted earlier, in a structured way. So we will talk about a lot of different topics during this journey. Okay? We're going to get the history of China. And we're going to dispel the lies that were implanted in the minds of the current Chinese people, and also our people that look at China and Asia and don't see themselves a lot of times in China culture. Chinese culture goes way beyond Chinese food. Chinese culture goes way beyond cheap clothing. Chinese culture goes way beyond a lot of things that you know Chinese people for. But this is a current race of Chinese folks. We're talking about primordial beings. We're talking about the people who set foot on the land, who established the societies, the cities, the cultures, the customs, the belief systems. Where did they come? Where did that come from? Where all these things came from, and now it's making full circle back to where it came from, and I'm gonna show it to you. So in this journey, we're gonna talk about cosmology. We're gonna talk about everything that the Chinese people are known for, yin and yang. We're gonna talk about a concept of the 5 phases. We're gonna talk about what's called the Wushang. We're gonna get into Chinese numerology, the Shenran. Okay? We're gonna discuss in length the 3 treasures, the 8 immortals. We're gonna go into the different names that they give to the Chinese builders, and we're gonna decode these names and bring them back current so you know who they're talking about. Okay? And one of the most important things we're gonna talk about, which I'm not gonna mention right now, that's what I was talking about in the video I released prior, the live. That's gonna change your life. I guarantee it. Once I give you this historical foundation, we are going to anchor from here. And we are going to go into places that perhaps you have never been, and you are more than welcome to explore here with me and to also explore on your own, because this is going to open up a whole new world for you. This is going to open up a whole new world for you. And what you have to understand is this also. Understand that the current China, 20th century China, have tried their best to remove the spirituality out of the sacred records. Now, this is a conversation I had with somebody who's prominent in our culture, right? And I've already noticed that. But what happened was they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. The current 20th century China have lived lavishly. Okay? They have taken the knowledge that that was established on that part of the world by the elders, okay, during the different dynasties that occupied China. And the current people, they have taken that knowledge and they have prospered for centuries. Thousands, they have prospered beyond words can imagine. Okay? They run circles, run a lot of races. But they have not been able to tap in to the most sacred, esoteric, the most sacred part of these records fully. I will say fully. Some of them have. Some of them have. As you can remember, there was a time in China where quote-unquote Christians were being persecuted. They used to worship underground. They had to worship in hiding because they would be persecuted and killed, because the government system would not allow them to fully express their beliefs. Reverencing Shangdi. That's the name that they give to the Supreme. Remember now, I did a video 2 years ago where we went into China. We went into the temples. There was an earthquake in Xi'an. And we went there. We talk about that. And I also talk about China from the Keys of Enoch in terms of destruction. But today, that's not what's going to happen. Today, I want to say thank you to all the Chinese people who have kept the sacred writings for us. We want to thank them because the Most High made sure that they kept that sacred. They kept that so that when we found the knowledge, then we can also apply it return it back to where it belongs, the essence of it, the spirit of it. We're not going to be able to take it from them, but we're going to tap into it and apply the principles that make the foundation of the knowledge. We're going to link it back to the Supreme, where we're going to give reverence to the Supreme, not just anyone else. You see? And apply these principles to improve our lives. Just as I mentioned to you, there is a blueprint. There is a concrete blueprint. Okay, I'm just not going to mention it now because I will bring that information out. You were supposed to make every move was supposed to be with certainty, for certainty. Every move was supposed to be exact. There were never supposed to be a hit and miss. No. That knowledge was here. That knowledge is still here. And quite as kept, that knowledge is in your Bible. It's just coded. And I will reveal it to you. I will show you what you could have done. Had the preachers who had the Bible knew exactly how to interpret the Bible and were not afraid of going into other places, other realms, and seeking out new information, which is actually old information, but bringing it back to the current people, and had the spirit of the Most High to translate, to explain, to bring forth these higher knowledge, then the people of the Most High would have been better off. Absolutely. The Most High said these prophets ran, but I have not sent them. Have they been into my presence? They would have known what I, the Most High, will tell them to tell my people. You understand? So now, here we are. Here we are, full circle with this knowledge. Once again, I wanna keep this very respectful. I don't want to step over on. I don't want to just discredit anyone. I would encourage, if I have any Chinese people on this channel whatsoever with Asian heritage, I would want to encourage you to bring forth and forward the knowledge that you grew up with. You know exactly what I'm talking about. All those principles that your families applied daily in their lives. Like today is a lunar new year, super new moon. There's a lot that happened in the Chinese world this month, this week, last week. There's a lot that's happened in the stars. They have a different calendar, okay? There's different principles they follow that bring great results. So I would encourage any one of you here of Asian, East Asian heritage to, hey, make yourself known if you're here. Bring forth the knowledge so that we can have a taste of it also. So let's begin. Let's begin. Let's go here. Let's go to the origin. Origin, Black Chinese Dynasties by John Moore. This person, this brother here, this person have done an extensive research on the root races of China, different dynasties, different rulership. And I found this, and it's perfect for this presentation. And I want to present that to you today, but I will make some corrections because nobody can get it 100%. No matter what I say today, family, just know this too. Thank you, Most High, for bringing this to my mind. Remember, I'm presenting this information to you as I found out about it. I'm presenting this information to you not as an expert of it. I'm presenting this information to you as someone who have been led by it. So it's going to be raw. It's not going to be polished. I will not be able to connect all the dots, but that's not even important. What's important is this: the fact that the Most High is bringing this to your attention, and now it behoves you to also go and research this and educate yourself, as I'm being led to bring deeper and higher and more in-depth information, knowledge, sacred knowledge of our elders, going back to the times of LUMERIA. As I'm being led to bring that to you, you are also being encouraged to take your studies to another level. and bring your findings back. This is going to be what's called the yin and yang balance relationship, where I share, you share. Okay? I bring information, you do some research, you leave me a comment, you send me an email, hey brother Abdullah, this is what I found. Have you run into this? Share that information with me too, because 1 can chase 1,000, 2 can chase 10,000, 3 can chase 100,000. So let's get the history so we can go further in. Black Chinese Dynasties by John Moore. A recent international study. So let me summarize this before I read it. This information, particularly what I want in here, is in regards to a scientist who went to seek out some information on the current Chinese people. And what he found out, he was not expecting to find out. So we're going to read it, and I'll let him tell you. A recent international study undertaken by Shanghai scientists and multinational academics has confirmed that the Chinese did not originate from Peking men. Understand this. The current Chinese, okay, or the Chinese did not originate from the current Chinese in northern China, as was once believed. The Chinese originate from the Black East, quote unquote, Africans. Now I said, I'm going to correct that for you. I'm going to correct the fact that he put that the Chinese evolved from the Black East Africans, similar to these who migrated via South Asia to China about 100,000 years ago. Where did these East Africans come from? Where did these East Africans come from? And the knowledge in China, where did it come from? We are going to get into that also. Okay? So hold up. You know what? Let's keep reading, and we're going to get back to this. Results of the analysis indicate that Southeast Asia was the first destination of the migration from Africa to Asia. Southeast Asia was the first destination of the migration from Africa to Asia, which commenced about 100,000 years ago, moving into southern China before crossing the Yangtze River in northern China. Not quite accurate. So now let's get the accuracy of this information. You see, I can't just move forward with the East Africans and everything coming out of East Africa. If you remember, I read from this book before, The Children of Mu by James Churchward. When we go into The Children of Mu by James Churchward, what's his name? James Churchward, we find out how the nations of the world started, where everybody came from. We in page 20. When Mu, the motherland, became overcrowded, among her great navigators, some ambitious and enterprising company found new and available lands. So now, at some point, Mu, the motherland Mu, became overcrowded, according to this record, and they found new lands. Now, once they found new lands, a colonial development was started. They started to what? Colonize the lands. Not in the same colonization mindset that you think, that you know of in regards to the modern day colonizers. No. These immigrant children of Mu were called Mayas. Everybody who left the motherland, all who left the motherland Mu in any direction that they went. They were called Mayas. There are Nakal tablets, writings in the Orient. That's the East. From Orient, you get Oriental. But Orion is also a code word for Osiris. Orion constellation. Once you say Osiris, then you have to return back to America. The great land of the West. You see that? So in the name Oriental is the name Osiris. Osiris go back to Kemet, not Egypt. If Osiris go back to Kemet, Osiris go back to Atlantis, meaning that he was what? He came out of Lumeria. There are Nakar writings in the Orient stating that the Holy Brothers carried the religion. The Holy Brothers carried the religion and the sciences of the motherland to the colonized. So everyone, the Mayanians, left the motherland moon and they went and colonized other lands around the world. And what did they bring with them? The religion of moon, the sciences of the motherland moon. And they did this over 70,000 years ago, according to this record. And one of these colonies was said to have a population of 35 million people. Okay? Let's keep going. We're on page 27. Ancient North America. When the motherland started out to people the earth, North America and Eastern Asia were the two lands where she planted her first colonies. Did you hear that? When Lumeria started out to people the earth, Lumeria stepped her foot, her wings, her religion, her faith on North America and Eastern Asia. They were the two lands where she planted her first colonies. That gives you a direct link to China, to the eastern countries, East Asia, directly linking East Asia to the motherland, which is Lumeria. So that here in our home, we may look for the earliest records of men here in America. We may look for the earliest records of men, not in Europe, not in Egypt, not in Babylonia. They were the tail enders going to these countries to find the early records of men. Forgive me. Going to these countries to find the early records of men. So going to Europe, going to Egypt, going to Babylon to find the early records of men is like a shepherd going everywhere to find a lost lamb, while he's carrying the lost lamb under his arm the entire time. Meaning that you don't need to go anywhere to find the earliest records of men. Right here in this country where it started. Okay? Remember, there was two floods. One in Lumeria and one in Atlantis. Moon was called the empire of the sun. Moon was sovereign, suzerain over all the world. She was the sun, referred to in the legend. So great was the flood that it drowned out the sun and left the world in darkness. The sun was Mu, the motherland. When the flood came and LUMERIA went down once, the world was left in darkness. When LUMERIA submerged, being the sun that gave light, wisdom, life to the world was left in darkness. Her son drowned out. The empire of the sun was the ruler of the whole world. Her laws governed all people. Her laws govern all people. So now it is not the East Africans. No problems with the East Africans. But when we say East Africans, we have to say these East Africans were Mayas. They came out of LUMERIA and then became Atlantis. And then they came out of Atlantis and they went all over the world. So even these East Africans going back 100,000 years ago, 70,000 years ago, they originated from the motherland Mu. And they brought with them all that they acquired from Mu. They didn't look like these. No. These are current face of the people in East Africa. You know? So now, let's go down a little further. School textbooks in China have been teaching that the Chinese race evolved from Peking men. Family, follow me. Shanghai scientists and international researchers have dismissed this theory. The theory that the Chinese race evolved from Peking man. The scientists in Shanghai have dismissed this theory, having discovered that early human families evolved in East Africa, but they didn't discover that they came out of LUMERIA. This revelation is based on the DNA analysis of 100,000 samples collected from around the world, which showed that the 65 branches there are 65 branches of the Chinese race. This DNA sample showed that these 65 branches of the Chinese race share similar DNA mutations with the people of East and South Asia and have originated out of Africa. Remember now where these East Africans came from. Now let's go further down. Professor Jan Lee. Well, first, before we go to Professor Jan Lee, let's go here. This recent study that the East Africans are actually the people of the land of China, not the current Chinese. This recent study renders invalid, null and void the theory that the current Chinese, okay, or the Peking man was the ancestor of the Chinese people. Also, it dispels the myth and the belief once held by modern Chinese scholars that the Chinese race had descended from the Yellow Emperor. Now, this brother here, this person writing this article, John Moore, remember, family, everything has flaws. John Moore have not made the connection who the Yellow Emperor is. But it's okay. I have. Okay? I have. And you will learn who is the Yellow Emperor. How massive this Yellow Emperor is. and how the yellow emperor is going to change your life. You see? We will talk about the yellow emperor, and you're going to learn who that is. We made the connections. All praises to the Supreme. We repeat. The study renders null and void that the ancestors of the Chinese people came from these Peking men. Also, it dispels the myths and the beliefs once held by modern Chinese scholars that the Chinese race descended from the yellow emperor. It is not a myth. The original Chinese race did descend from the yellow emperor. And when you do your research, what you're gonna find the yellow emperor is actually yellow. No, that's incorrect. I will introduce you to the yellow emperor in a second, but let's continue reading. But just remember that the original Chinese perhaps came from the same place as the yellow emperor. So therefore it is not a myth, and it shall not be dispelled. You see? Skeletal remains in southern China clearly show that they are indeed Negroid. The people of that era practiced African ritual of single burials. These findings add further weight to the African view that all human life began in Africa. No, that's not true. All human life began in Lumeria in North America. This is the most ancient land. Now, remember I said to you, there were several Lumerias. The first one was here. And it moved around the world. And it's returning back here. The fifth Lumeria is returning back here in this land. Don't be so excited with Atlantis rising. Be excited with the return of Lumeria. Eden is coming back to you. Remember I said that. Eden is coming back to you. You see? All life, all human life began in Africa, not quiet. It began in America. Archaeological texts and forensic tests confirm that China's first two earliest important dynasties, the Xia and the Shang. Now, don't worry too much about my pronunciation. The Xia and the Shang were black Africans, but remember where they came from. These were black Mayanians with an astroloid type present in smaller percentages. The first Shang king was Wong. The first king in the Shang dynasty in China, his name was Wong. Who is Wong? Wong means black king. Huang means black in Mandarin, and Wong means king in China. In China. Now, who is Wong? What this writer was not able to connect was this: that Wong is none other than the Yellow Emperor. You see, Wong is another name for the Yellow Emperor. So the Black King was none other than the Yellow Emperor. How can you be black and yellow at the same time? You see? Then that means the Yellow Emperor what does it mean for him to be yellow emperor, but yet we already said he's a black king? The yellow emperor was a Lumerian. You see, he came from a town, quote unquote, that had the Yellow River. You see that? So he was called the Yellow Emperor, meaning that he came from the town of the Yellow River. However, yellow, Huang also means yellow. Okay? Huang also means yellow. Another name for the yellow emperor is Huang Di. Huang Di. And we're going to read about Huang Di, yellow emperor, black king, in a minute. But let me tell you this before I move forward. The yellow emperor is Wong, which is the black king. You can't be two tones. So why is he called yellow emperor? It's a code word. You see? It's a code word to hide the fact that he was the black king, originally born Wong. That was his name. That's even a title. You see that? Let me tell you something else. The name yellow denotes the fact that he was radiant. Because Huang Di, Huang means radiant and yellow, which associated Huang Di with the sun, S-U-N. Follow me. Follow me. If Huang means radiant and yellow, and it associates Huang Di, or the black king, or the son of heaven, as he was called, it being Huang associate him with the sun, that means that piece of information links him back to the what? The motherland moon, being the empire of the sun. You see that right there? Huang means radiant and yellow, linking him to the sun, S-U-N. Meaning that he came from Lumeria, the empire of the S-U-N, the sun, the motherland moon. So we continue. Professor Jian Li, one of China's leading geneticists, he led a project with an international research team that included Russians, Indians, Brazilians, and researchers from other nations. Professor Jian Li set out to prove that the Chinese people evolved independently from everyone else. You see? That's what he wanted to prove to the nations, to the world. That his people were so special that they evolved from no one else. They evolved independently from everyone else. They evolved independently from Homo erectus in China. However, though, he ended up proving that the modern Chinese actually originated in Africa. But remember where these Africans came from. That the modern humans evolved from a single ancestor and not from multiple origins, as some experts theorize. Professor Jian Li's research was based on DNA tests which have revolutionized the study of human evolution. He says, before the project started, I was hoping that I could identify or could be able to find the evidence that support an independent origin of Chinese in China. Because I'm Chinese who came from China, and through the education process, through the educational process, I always believed that there is something special about Chinese. See, even Jen Lee, geneticist, even he was brainwashed. Professor Lee singled out a male genetic marker that surfaced only about 80,000 years ago in Africa. He talked about 20,000 DNA samples from over 160 ethnic groups across East Asia. After careful analysis in his lab, Professor Jen Lee came to this conclusion. He says, I quote, "We did not see even one single individual that could be considered as a descendant of the Homo erectus in China, whom he previously believed that they came from." He says, rather, everybody was a descendant of the ancestors from Africa. He says, after I saw the evidence generated in my laboratory, I think we should all be happy with that. Because after all, modern humans from different parts of the world are not too different from each other. And we are all very close relatives. As you continue reading this article, you can look it up yourself online. You can read about the different dynasties, the different races, the Mongoloids, the Mongolian between the 1600 to 1046 BC that came upon China and mixed with that give you the current Chinese people. The Tang dynasty, the Xia dynasty. You could find all these amazing information down here. Let's read this one here. The three major empires of the first civilizations of China were the Xia dynasty, the Shang or the Yang dynasty, founded by Yi tribe headed by King Tang or King Ta. The Zhou dynasty, like the Zulus, the Shaka Zulu dynasty, which was the first dynasty found by the Mongoloid people in China. The Mongoloid people found the dynasty in China called Huang. King Tang and the Shang dynasty were responsible for unifying China to form their first civilization. The founders of Xia and Shang came from Lumeria, not Africa, and according to Professor Shang Ling, the earliest documented rulership of China, known as the Xia and the Shang dynasties, were governed by Huang, the emperor, the black king, the black emperor, the son of heaven, Huang. You see? So who was this dude? Before I give you Huang, you can look up this article yourself. Okay? And you could find great information here. But before I give you Huang, let me take you back to Lumeria. We have to connect the dots properly and get a proper historical education before we move forward into these marvelous sacred records that's coming your way. We go back to the emerald tablets of Thoth, the ancient writings of Enoch. Some may disagree that Thoth was Enoch, but I don't. You see, Enoch says, deep in earth's heart, the sons of Amenti heard and hearing directed the changing of the flower of fire that burns eternally, changing and shifting, using the logos until that great fire changed its direction. Over the world then broke the great waters, drowning and sinking, changing earth's balance. You see, you're going to learn something in the upcoming lessons, upcoming discussions about the earth's balance that was changed and what that means. Changing earth's balance until only the temple of light was left standing on the great mountain on Undal, still rising out of the water. Some there were who were living, saved from the rush of the fountains. He's describing the sinking of LUMERIA. This is the first flood. Before the flood of Atuma, the flood that Noah dealt with. This was before Noah. He says, the master of Undor called to him and said, Enoch, Thoth, gather together your people, or gather you together my people. Take them by the arts you have learned. Take them far across the waters by the arts you have learned, until you reach the land of the hairy barbarians, dwelling in caves of the desert. When you arrive to the land of the barbarians who are dwelling in the caves of the desert, take the arts that you have learned from LUMERIA. Take the arts that you have learned deep in the earth's heart, in the halls of Amenthi. Take these arts, follow there the plan that you know of, meaning civilize them. Bring them up to the current knowledge. Raise them up from bottom below consciousness. Watch this. Gathered I then my people, and we entered the great ship of the master. Upward we rose into the morning. Dark beneath us lay the temple of Undal. Suddenly over it rose the waters, vanished from earth until the time appointed was the great temple. Fast we fled toward the sun of the morning, until beneath us lay the children of Kemet. They came raging with cudgels and spears, lifting in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. Then raised I my staff and directed a ray of vibration. Imagine this in your mind. He said he raised his staff and he directed a ray of vibration, striking the Kemites, frozen in their tracks as fragments of stone of the mountain. Then after he hit them with that vibration, he walked among them, whispering in their ears, like, what you thought you was gonna do, fam? You thought you was gonna get me? Nah, he did this. He said, I spoke to them in words, calm and peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis, saying to them, we were the children of the sun. We were the children of LUMERIA. We are its messengers. Cowed I them by my display of magic science, until at my feet they groveled when I released them. Why did I take you here? I took you here. Let's go back. The master of Undor told Enoch or Thoth, gather my people, take them far across the waters until you reach the land of the barbarians in the east. That would be that land right there. That's the reason why you found them there. This is a picture of the Yellow Emperor in a tomb from the mid-century 2nd AD. This is a picture of the Yellow Emperor Huang, the son of heaven, Wong, the Black King, and another emperor, Yang in China. You don't see this on TV. China have temples with big old stones everywhere. It's not just the Olmec head. Nah, this go way back to LUMERIA. They won't show this to you on television because they don't want you to know what's there. But don't worry, China, we're coming. We're here now. The Yellow Emperor, who was he? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. The Yellow Emperor Xuan. Let's get a little something on the Yellow Emperor. The Yellow Emperor, the Black King, Huang Wong, the Son of Heaven. Unveiling the Yellow Emperor, a journey through Chinese mythos, Chinese mythology. Once upon a time in the ancient land of China, there lived a legendary figure named the Yellow Emperor, also known as Huang the Black King, Son of Heaven. His influence on Chinese mythology and history is vast and enduring. The Yellow Emperor is hailed as a cultural hero, one of the 5 emperors and a wise ruler who laid the foundations of a great nation. Born with the personal name Xuan, which means Black King, the Yellow Emperor's tale transcends folklore, weaves itself into the tapestry of China's cultural identity. He played a pivotal role in the unification of various tribes, bringing peace and order to a fragmented land. Moreover, he introduced innovations that left a lasting impact on the Chinese way of life. Yellow Emperor's origin. His origin, LUMERIA. We don't even have to read that part. Okay? So, this is what we know about the Yellow Emperor based on this article. But let's get something else on the Yellow Emperor scripture. You see, the Yellow Emperor is the father of traditional Chinese medicine. The Yellow Emperor is the father of traditional Chinese medicine. And when I say traditional, I want you to think of the traditions that were set by the Lumerians when they went to East Asia, as we read in the beginning of the video. I want you to remember what I read to you, how the Mayanians took with them their religion, they took with them their culture, they took with them their sciences to East Asia. So this is the tradition of the Lumerians, the Atlanteans in East Asia. Yellow Emperor, Huang Wong, Black King, Son of Heaven, is the founder of this tradition of Chinese medicine, whom, by the way, is one of the very close family, is one of the most, if not the most revered form of medicine on this planet. It has a rich history. We're talking about we'll get more into it. We'll get more on traditional Chinese medicine and how it's going to change your life. We'll get more. This is your ancient knowledge coming back to you. This is your ancient knowledge returning back to you on this beautiful day of the super new moon, the new lunar new year. This is a massive portal that I can go into, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. I'll talk about it differently. The Yellow Emperor scripture on the hidden talisman. Now you can go ahead and look for this book. The hidden talisman of the Yellow Emperor given to him by Nuwa. You could go ahead and research who that is too. Now, I want to say that the Yellow Emperor is just another name for Enoch. You see that? Based on what we read, we can say that the Yellow Emperor is the son of the sun, because we saw that the master of Undal, the Jade Emperor, told Thoth, who is Enoch, take my people far across the land, in the land of the barbarians. The Yellow Emperor has the original book of medicine. As you will find out how deep, how accurate, how amazing, how respective of the human anatomy and physiology, how considerate a view of the whole person, physical, mental, spiritual, metaphysical, lower self, higher self, this traditional Chinese medicine is. You see, there's aspect of it in every culture. Yes. But remember, as you do your research, you're going to find a lot of surprises. Okay? And we'll get into them, family. The Yellow Emperor scripture. Now, the Yellow Emperor, as I just noted, is Enoch. Because Enoch was before Noah. You see, this book was passed down to Noah, and we know the book in the Hebrew writings, a small version of it, as the Sefer Harazim. But see, the Sefer Harazim have nothing like this book have. The Sefer Harazim that we have access to, that I introduce you guys to, doesn't have TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. Or does it? It has more of a spiritual tone. The tone that the current Chinese try their best to remove from the scriptures. Hence why they were persecuting their own people, and they would not allow them to worship Huang or Shangdi, the supreme, their God whom they worship. That's why these people were worshiping in caves underground, being persecuted and killed and slaughtered, being evicted from their homes and burned alive in China. Current China disconnected the spiritual aspect from the sacred scripts. They tried, but they failed. What is the Yellow Emperor scripture on the hidden talisman is talking about? This is just an excerpt, okay, family? This is just an excerpt. The beginning chapter, the divine immortal embracing the one reveals the way. Remember, the Yellow Emperor, son of heaven, is the father of medicine. In the Egyptian writings, you will find out that this son of heaven, the father of medicine, is I am Hotep. I am Hotep, you see? I am Hotep. The beginning chapter, the divine immortal embracing the one. The divine immortal embracing the one reveals the way. Behold heaven's way. Behold the Tao, the oneness. And act according to heaven's motion. That is all. This conversation is describing the relationship of the elements and the elemental powers and your physiology and your anatomy, your body functioning structures and how they all have a symbiotic relationship with heaven, which is Yang, which is the supreme, and earth, which is Yin, which is the feminine, which is the earth, the earthly mother. You see, this is a conversation about your body. It says, in heaven, there are 5 thieves. Those who see them will be thriving. The 5 thieves dwell in the heart and carry out their motions in heaven. Thus, the universe can be grabbed into your hands, and all creations can happen within your body. Your body as the universe. All creation happening within your body. However, though, there are 5 thieves. And if you know who they are, you will be thriving. And you will learn about these thieves as we delve deep into the sacred writings of the Yellow Emperor, the Black King, Son of Heaven, Wong, Huang, Enoch. The heaven's essence is in every person. Your essence in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, they call that a treasure. It's a part of what they call the 3 treasures. The Zheng, the essence. That's in every person. It's different from your chi. Your essence is not your chi. We will get into that. By establishing heaven's way, every person is shaped. At the pivotal time heavens launches a killing, the stars and constellations move. At the pivotal time that the earth launches a killing, the serpent rises from the land. At the pivotal time man launches a killing, heaven and earth are overturned. When heaven and men launch together, the base of all transformation is established. This is a code. These words are coded because their roots, their origin is in medicine. The heart generates both cleverness and clumsiness. It can be calm and concealed. The leaking from the 9 holes is controlled by the 3 pivots. It can be intense or mild. In your body, you have 9 holes. The 2 eyes, the 2 earlobes, the nostrils, the mouth, the outlet of the genital, and the anus. You see, when fire is produced from wood, if a disaster comes, it can be defeated. See, I'm not even going to continue reading this to you. Why? Because it's going to sound so foreign. You need proper foundation. But I just wanted to introduce you to some of the writings of the Yellow Emperor, Huang, Huang, the Black King, Son of Heaven. To get your appetite whet so that you know you are going to places that you perhaps have never been, right from your home. And you are going to take this ancient knowledge, these ancient writings from your ZANSETS, from your ancestors, and you are going to apply them. And you're gonna make your life better daily for the rest of your life. And you are going to teach the principles to your children. And you're going to be so grateful to the Supreme YAHUWAH for bringing this knowledge to you. Some of this knowledge I will share on YouTube, some I will not. I will tell you right now, Some of this knowledge will be shared on YouTube, but some of it will not. It will be accessed only by membership. It takes time, effort, money, energy to access, to learn. It will not be given just like that. This is sacred, revered. I would invite you to join me when I present to you a lesson that you have to access by membership. Freely I receive, freely I give. Some of this knowledge is not free. Very, very expensive to access. Just take my word for it. I want to give you as much as I can with the time that I have. Also, I would invite you to study on your own. Do your own research. Elevate yourself from bottom below consciousness yourself. You don't need a middleman. No. You can do this all by yourself. Some of you may want me to teach, but the teacher is also a student. For one cannot teach unless he learns. Therefore, the teacher is forever a student. We are going to go places that we have never been. We are going to access all the sacred writings of China. Everything. And we're going to read them. And we're going to extract from them the essence. And we're going to apply them to our lives. To improve our lives. Our health. Our peace. Our wealth. Our shalom. Our understanding. We're going to open up our horizon. We're going to travel, baby. We are international now. Ancient China belongs to you. The principles there were put there by your ancestors, whom you know. We are regathering this information, and I invite all my Chinese people on this channel, whether it be one of you, anyone with East Asia background, share what you know. I know you know. Best kept secret, no more. I'm gonna be coming at you with some powerful information. Do with them as you please. Let's check out a precept real quick from Deuteronomy 11 from my brother Vincent. Shout out. Deuteronomy 11 verse 24. Moses says, every place where the sole of your foot shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness, from Lebanon, from the river to the river Euphrates, even unto the hinder sea, shall be your border. That's what happened. After the Most High made this declaration to our people, so my brother Vincent said, they went everywhere. As you could see, as I read from the Thoth emerald tablets, the master of Undor told Thoth to go far. Take the art which you have learned with you to the land of the hairy barbarians. You understand? We are going places. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 21 says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. We shall prove all things, and we shall hold fast that which is good. That's what we shall do. We're giving all honor and praises to the Most High YAHUWAH, the Supreme. And we're giving all honor and praises to our mother, for gifting us with such wonderful gifts. We thank all the ZANSETS, all the ancestors for thinking about us, protecting and providing for us, leading us to the ancient ways of the righteous, the ways of peace, the ways of righteousness, the ways of knowledge. We thank all our guardians, all the chieftains, from Malkut to Kether and beyond, for unifying us, bringing us back to full recognition, full knowledge of the ancient scripts. You see, we are grateful. In the Cobran, page 7, it says, this we give you, the hidden books, containing the accumulated harvests of wisdom and truth, garnered over the generations, the bread and oil which sustains us, and never diminished. May these hidden books serve you in your day, as well as they served us. Above all, may you be sufficiently enlightened to receive them. For today, it says, the writers of this book say, at the time that they were writing these records, they were being persecuted because of the books. As I have been persecuted on this channel for bringing books and knowledge that will aid the mind to grow beyond realms imaginable. This is our most treasured and guarded books. We can only consign them to the ground and destiny, trusting that these sacred records, from the east to the west, from the south to the north, from LUMERIA to East Asia, trusting that they will be called forth at the proper time and in a receptive generation. Yah Shalom, family. Until next time.